And we're live here with Jordan Wood. Jordan, thanks for taking the time to talk to me today.
Yeah, no problem.
We just wrapped up state, Pennsylvania State High School championship season. You got injured, but you had a great career. You two-time second place, came back last year after a shoulder injury, got first place. Um, this year you were cruising along, got an injury. I'd like to talk about that later. The one thing that always stands out about your wrestling style to me when I see you wrestle is how many pins you got.
Mm.
Over 100 pins, and I love aggressive wrestling, and I love that style. Can you tell me just your mindset when you go out to wrestle?
When I go out to wrestle, first off, I like wrestling like a lighter weight, and it's always been more entertaining watching points getting put up on the board. And I like people being able to say, that kid, he went out there, he took a low single, then he hit a headlock, and then he hit that move, and being able to actually watch wrestling. So that's my main mindset, but once it gets to the mat, I like to work for the pin and get off the mat quickly because I am a heavyweight and my conditioning's not the best.
For real? I've never noticed that.
Yeah, sometimes I get huffing and puffing.
Okay. Can you tell us what happened? What injury you had? Or
In the district finals, I locked up a cross-face cradle
Yep.
in the first 30 seconds of the match, and wrestling a really strong kid, and I didn't have it locked up right, so I just tried to muscle it over, and I twisted weird and tore cartilage in my ribs,
Okay.
and also a couple muscles too.
Strained muscles, torn cartilage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pulled muscles, torn cartilage.
Okay.
So right there, my rib popped out. I had to call injury time, and we popped it back in, and it got back on top. Well, he got out when I called injury time. He got the escape, so
Right.
took him back down, got back on top, locked up another cradle, being a genius, went for it again, popped it out even worse. So that was my second injury, and I just had to grit it out the rest of the match, and it kept popping in and out. And the next day I was laying in my bed trying to wake up to get to work, and it took me 40 minutes to get out of bed because it popped out.
Oh, painful.
Yeah, it was just painful.
People who've never had a rib injury don't realize that everything you do involves your ribs.
Any movement.
Yeah. Where are you? I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's almost back to normal, and the only thing that really hurts right now is sneezing, and that's barely anything.
Okay.
So I'm back in the weight room, getting stronger, strengthening everything around it, and I'll be back in the mats in a week or two, getting ready for World Team Trials.
So you had a shoulder problem last year. You had surgery. You've had this injury. Can you just tell me how you deal with mental adversity? What's your approach?
I've been accident prone my whole life.
Really?
7th grade, I had a pretty major heart surgery. They found a birth defect. And then 8th grade,
Do you have a scar on your chest from that? Did they go in?
On my back, I have a
Okay.
scar about that big. They went through and fixed that. And then 8th grade, I broke my collarbone. 9th grade, tore my meniscus in state semis or state finals. 10th grade, I made it through somehow.
Uh-huh.
And then at the World Championships, I tore a week or two after the World Championships at the Olympic Training Center, tore my labrum.
Talk about the Cadet World Championships, correct?
Yeah, Cadet World Championships. Yep. So I was laid up for 6 months there, and then this year it was my rib. So I've been able to figure out to cope with injuries because you're going to heal eventually. Whether it's 2 weeks or 10 months, you're going to be back if you do everything right. And you don't have to let it affect you. And it's going to hurt a lot watching the next few short-term goals just slide by, but there's still the whole future and a lot bigger stuff ahead of you that you just have to focus and start getting ready for.
So there's not a lot of discouragement just focused on the future? Because I know athletes can get really down. I mean, getting hurt is the worst.
I wanted to be a 2-time state. I wanted to be a 4-time state champ, but year after year that kind of whittled down. So I wanted to be a 2-time state champ.
Yeah.
And not being able to be a 4-time finalist, 2-time champ definitely stung for a couple days, but state championship in high school, and now I just got to look forward to world championships and national championships.
Right. Do you read media about yourself, press clippings, that kind of thing?
Not too often, no.
Often. So is most of the pressure to wrestle, I mean, is that internal pressure?
Oh, absolutely.
So, uh, what kind of pressure are you putting on yourself? Are you carrying goals around every day that you look at?
Yeah, I want to be one of the pound for pound best wrestlers in the high school, and I was striving to get up there. Then once I started looking at rankings and stuff and saw that I was previously ranked number one in the country and then top 10 pound for pound, I just started trying to hold myself to that standard too strictly, and every little mistake, I was afraid to make a mistake and ended up costing me a match at Beast, a couple different matches, and
Yeah.
so now the pressure is starting to fall off. But yeah, it was a lot of pressure I put on myself just trying to be the best when even the best lose sometimes. So you can't do that to yourself.
Your team had a great season, Boyertown.
Yeah,
Top 10 in March. You guys were in the finals, right at the dual
yeah, the
championships.
finals.
Has it set in that like you're done with high school and this team is kind of going into the wind to different places?
Not even close.
No.
Like, two of my best friends and teammates are at my house right now. Two more are coming later, and it's like we're still in season. It's going to be weird in 2 months when he's off across the state and country, not being in the same living room.
Right. What are your thoughts about the high school team?
It's just awesome because there's pictures of all of us together when we were 6 and 7 at the whatever it was youth tournament, being able to win that, and just throughout our whole lives we've been together, working out and just being best friends, and going out this way was awesome because we knew we had potential our freshman, sophomore, junior year, and we fell short the first 3 years, and this year we finally feel we reached what we could have been.
Gotcha. You mentioned that you're going to be training to wrestle freestyle.
Yes.
Are you a junior? Or
This is my first year as a junior.
So the championships or the trials are in Vegas in April?
Well, the junior nationals are in Vegas in April. And
okay.
if you win that, then you sit in the best of 3 finals for the World Team Trials, which is end of May in Texas.
Okay.
So it's still up in the air if I'm going to compete at Vegas, because I might want to focus on really making sure I'm healed, getting strength, size, and being prepared for Texas.
Gotcha.
Because we're going to make the world team. Got to beat everyone anyways.
Yeah.
So.
Which style are you going? Are you going both?
I think I'm going to just go freestyle.
Okay.
Yeah. Our heavyweight is looking to start training more Greco, and so I'm going to help him with that. But
your Boyertown heavyweight?
Our Boyertown heavyweight, Tommy Cloran, wants to start training Greco.
Okay.
But I definitely have more of a passion for freestyle. I love Greco. I just don't feel as comfortable wrestling it. I'm really comfortable grabbing an ankle and taking them down. So as soon as I get upper body, I can throw some kids and keep good positioning, but it still feels scary being up there.
So you wrestle all 3 styles very successfully.
Yeah, wrestling's wrestling. I love it.
So you prefer freestyle?
Freestyle is my favorite style.
Favorite style?
Yeah.
And you wrestle Greco. Can you tell me why you wrestle Greco, if it makes you feel a little nervous?
Because that's an aspect of wrestling that I want to improve on. I want to be able to be more comfortable upper body. And I've made it to national finals in Greco 4 times, and I won the FILA Cadet Greco Nationals last year.
Yep.
So I feel like I should be more comfortable upper body than I am, but it's still a fun style too.
Totally fun, and it's a great lesson for other younger wrestlers because, 1, it's exciting, but 2, so many Americans don't know how to tie up and be comfortable, and you're going to get there at the college level one way or another.
It's an important aspect that people need to focus on more, and also if there was more high-level training available in the area, I would have more consideration for Greco, but it's America. We don't have the same training as other places, and it's just a story. I
got you. All right, so you're going to do that. Is there any other competition you're looking at before you end up going to Lehigh?
Right now, the main focus is Texas, make the world team, and then head off to France in the summer and win a world championship.
When is that?
The world championships?
Yeah.
I think August.
That's what I thought. Okay, it's August. Okay. All right, well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um, and then will you be going back and forth to Lehigh? When do you have to show up at Lehigh?
I'm not sure yet. I think in the beginning of the summer they want me, but it all depends on my healing process and
Okay.
where I'm at with the World Team Trials process.
All right. Couple things. Where do you see yourself wrestling? What weight at Lehigh?
285 pounds.
285 pounds. Are you bulking up right now? Well, I guess not
Currently-
right now, but that's your plan?
Currently at 235 and not looking down.
Okay. And are you planning to redshirt, or are you going to go after Volaro?
Right now, the plan is redshirt my
Okay.
freshman year, get a couple opens in, get the size up, and get in the room, get that extra year of maturity, and then win a national title in my redshirt freshman year.
Gotcha. Good goals. Is that written down?
Absolutely.
Something else young guys need to make sure they do. Write down those goals. Switching gears a little bit, how old were you when you started wrestling?
I was in first grade when I started wrestling. First grade.
Did your dad wrestle?
No. My dad's best man, who's actually my coach,
Your high
Coach
school coach.
John Cooley,
Okay.
his son started the year before, and we've been best friends our whole life, and he's my teammate, JT. So he wrestled, and I wanted to do it with him. And the next year, I wrestled, and I hated it.
Okay.
Because,
Well, what made you come back?
well, because my friends all wrestled. So
Okay.
I was 6 pounds, but I weighed a lot for a 6-year-old. I
Wait,
was 6 years old,
Okay.
but I weighed a lot for
Okay.
a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
So,
How much? 70 pounds?
85 pounds.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I was a chunker. So they threw me on varsity because they didn't have anyone there, and
Wait, so that wasn't all height? That was all belly?
a lot of belly.
Yeah. Okay.
I was tall, but it was a lot of belly.
Okay.
And they just threw me out against the 12-year-olds when I was 7, and never went well the first 2 years. But then I got a little bit more age, a little bit more experience, and by my 3rd year, I didn't lose too many matches regular season, and thought, let's try Eastern Nationals. Oh, everyone does it. I'll go for it.
Yeah.
And I made it to the finals and had a good shot at winning, but I played wall ball for 7 hours straight, so I was a little bit tired.
Okay.
Ended up getting pinned in the finals, and that's just where it all started.
Okay. So you weren't a success overnight. It took a little work. And what did you enjoy about the sport that kept you coming back? Was it just your friends on the team, or was there...
It was the self-discipline, being able to, not self-discipline, just being the only one out on the mat. Just being alone on the mat, all the pressure, all the responsibility was on you. Not having to rely on someone else. You take full blame and you take full responsibility.
Okay. Has that changed as you've gotten older, that love of the sport and what you like about it? It's still the same?
It's just, the love grows daily.
So when you think about going to wrestling practice, like what goes through your mind? Like, are you just a dog salivating, or is it just methodical? Are you, how do you approach it?
I think of stuff I want to work on.
Okay.
Just thinking of matches that things didn't go my way, or if it's getting close to competition, I used to think, gotta get a good sweat, gotta go extra hard today. So now it's just improving since I don't have to lose the weight. But it's fun just being out there and trying new moves and being able to roll around. I like play wrestling a lot, wrestling like a little guy.
Yeah. So if someone watched you in the practice room, a tough practice room, what would they walk away with when they were watching you?
They'd walk away with, he gets scored on that much? That's
Because you're trying new things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get scored on a good amount in the practice room because I like to try different takedowns. I get angry when I get scored on, but it still happens.
It's a good thing. I was just talking about this with somebody else, and Jason Nolf will just stay out in the center of the room and get taken down by everybody, but he's just getting a workout in.
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody, but towards the end of it, when they're fresh, and he's trying stuff. So it's a great approach to really push yourself and explore, because otherwise you remain one-dimensional.
Yeah.
So you're a high school senior. You've wrestled throughout the state of Pennsylvania, the East Coast, nationally and internationally. Can you tell me how growing up wrestling in Pennsylvania helped you for national and international competition?
the talent level in Pennsylvania is so much deeper than other states, and just it's like Pennsylvania is wrestling. Everybody in the main schools around Pennsylvania, they have great wrestling knowledge, and when you go out of state, wrestling a state champ from Delaware, my 8th grade year, I was like, uh-oh, he's a state champ. I know the Pennsylvania state champs are crazy. I ended up beating him by a lot, and I was like, wow, that's cool.
Right.
Maybe I'll go win Pennsylvania state. And then
Right.
I wrestled a state medalist a couple weeks later in the summer and got destroyed. And I was like, yep, not in Delaware anymore. So it's just
Okay.
being able to have that high level my whole life has definitely helped me prepare.
When you wrestled, was it Slovenia that the cadets were in, or Slovakia?
Slovakia.
Slovakia. What was the difference between, say, wrestling at States and going there? I know people don't speak the language, but did it affect you, the travel, the time change?
The travel and time change, they didn't affect me too much. It's just they have a completely different style than in folk style in America.
Yeah.
I'm used to, if I shoot a single, a kid might try to funk, they might do something. They just are heavy hips, fundamental in that aspect, and they don't bite for fakes, and they don't move too much.
Yeah.
Everything's slow and methodical, and they're just super strong. So being able to adjust to their feel was the biggest adjustment overseas. But other than that, it's awesome wrestling overseas.
So you're going to try again qualify for the junior team.
Yes.
That cadet team was kind of like a dream team.
It was an awesome team.
And I'm assuming you guys were all working out at the Olympic Training Center prior to that. Is that true?
We had a summer camp in the beginning of the summer in Wisconsin,
Okay.
and right there we all just became like brothers. It was awesome being on a team, and all 8 or 10 of us were just, we had a group chat in our phone, and throughout the entire summer we kept in touch, and we just hung together the whole time. And then a week before World Championships, we went out to the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs and got the extra training in, and then flew off together.
Are you still in touch with those guys?
Yeah, it's still
Everybody's doing pretty well.
texting. Everyone's doing really
Yeah.
well.
So my perspective is that kind of pollination, great wrestlers hanging out together at the same level really helps the sport. Not to mention that you bring that back to your local school and it
Yeah.
spreads. What are your thoughts on that?
I love it. It needs to happen more often because we grew off of each other, and it wasn't just kids hanging out. When we were in the wrestling room, it was like, hey, Spencer Lee, look at this. Mark Hall, look at this. Mason Mann, look at this. And then they were doing the same for everyone. We just got to show each other our little tricks and our little knacks, and it just helped us all grow and played wrestle. Like I wrestled Gavin Teasdale back when he weighed 92 pounds or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I weighed 220 pounds.
Right. That's awesome. Good stuff. Can you tell me something about the Olympic Training Center that the average person might not know that happens out there?
The food is amazing.
Really?
It is so good.
Really? Cafeteria style?
Cafeteria style, and then they have a little like gourmet spot for every dinner, and the pad thai is really good. They have really healthy food and just awesome variety all the time.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Did it ever cross your mind to not go to college and go out there and train?
I went back and forth with that a lot. I was my senior year, I wanted to live out there, but I knew with the team we had coming through, it was all my brothers. I couldn't leave.
Gotcha.
And then we tried figuring out how to be a part-time student at Boyertown, then go to Colorado for a couple months, come home for the season, then go back out, and it was just too much. And I'm a captain on the team, and being a captain isn't just from November to March; it's all the time.
Right.
So the final decision was stay at home, finish out the senior year, finish out the season, and then whatever comes next comes next.
Gotcha. So you've talked a little bit about your goals written down. Can you tell me what your goals are for the next 5 to 10 years?
Win some national titles, win some world titles, win some Olympic titles.
Is that written down somewhere that you can show me on the computer right now?
Uh, not
No.
not near me.
Okay.
It's up somewhere in my room.
It
But
is somewhere
yeah,
you see it every day.
yeah,
Okay. Fantastic. Um, one of my favorite moves watching you do is that claw mat return.
yeah.
Um, can you tell me where you picked it up? And go ahead.
It's a funny story. So we were my sophomore year. We went to King of the Mountain, and after King of the Mountain, we went to Denny's, the restaurant, and it was just a funny way how our coach got angry, and we convinced him to go to Denny's. So we just started messing with him, like, "We're going to Denny's, coach," and we wanted to name a move after something like with Denny's, just to mess with him.
Uh-huh.
And the big breakfast meal there is the lumberjack slam, and we're like, "That's a wrestling move, the lumberjack slam. What's it going to be?" And that's right around when Mike McMullen hit his claw lift against someone from Nebraska and stuck him.
Yeah.
And I went out the next day in a match, got the claw, lift him, flipped him, stuck him, walked off the mat, and I was like, "That's the lumberjack slam."
Right.
And it just stuck, and the whole team started doing it, and I hit it more and more, and then it became my signature.
Got it. It's been a real effective move for you. We were just talking before the camera went on. Bo Nickel hit something very similar.
Yeah.
Hit it a lot this year. Have you thought about how your technique may or may not change as you get to the next level? Tougher
Definitely.
kids? Yeah.
It's going to be, I know, a lot of high-level hand fighting, and going to convert my shots a lot faster and have to pick and choose a lot more wisely.
Yeah.
Because a heavyweight, D1 heavyweight, is not going to let me score on a half-hearted reach-around shot that I get my fingertips to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some heavy hips going on and some athleticism, which the heavyweight division has really been exciting.
Definitely.
I mean, right, and Gwiz and Snyder and
that final
Waltz,
match was insane.
Right, that was an instant classic, and
Yeah.
even Kuhn and Waltz, the third, fourth place match was.
It was crazy.
These guys are really athletic. I love this new breed. I'm glad you're going up there because you share that same athleticism. You wrestle like you're a 57-pounder.
Can add to it.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you watched the NCAAs? It seemed like probably the most compelling finals lineup and excitement and aggressiveness I've seen probably in a long time. What were your takeaways from the NCAA championships?
I'm excited to be there. I'm ready to put in the work and get to that level. But this was the first year where it's like, wow, next year that can be me. Like back watching it my freshman year, it's like, whoa, look at those dudes. They're good. They're huge. Now it's like, hey, I roomed with him before.
Right, it's almost here.
Yeah.
All right. That's awesome. I didn't ask you. You're going to Lehigh. What made you choose Lehigh? I know it's close by.
It's close by. The education's awesome. The wrestling's awesome. And it's just the training facilities there.
Beautiful.
Opportunities and facilities are beautiful. So it was a perfect package deal. And the coaches, there's no one like them. They're all awesome.
Yep. Where do you see yourself when you're done wrestling? Like
I see myself being 35 or 40.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Long career. And what do you want to be doing? I mean, do you want to coach wrestling? Do you want to be done with it? I mean, do you have any idea?
I'll never be able to be done with wrestling. I'll probably end up coaching somewhere. But I do want to have a career in the medical field, something with biology. I love science and biology. Mm-hmm. I'm going to Lehigh for bioengineering.
Easy major. I'm kidding. Yeah. I'm kidding. That sounds tough. So something in the medical field.
Yeah.
And maybe coach a little bit on the side.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm trying to think. We talked about pretty much everything that I had written down. So when do you think that your timeline is to be back on the mat?
In 2 weeks, I plan on experimenting a little bit, getting on the mat, seeing where I can roll around, and then from there, it could be one more week, it could be another month, and I will be back for the World Team Trials, though, and that's a really important goal to me right now, to make the World Team.
Is your whole body shut down, or are you doing, leg walking, running, whatever?
I'm this week I started lifting 100%. So
Okay.
there's no restrictions in the weight room. So
Up and down the whole body.
Yeah, up and down the whole body.
All right. So sneezing hurts, but you can lift.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, sneezing's a violent activity. It's like,
It is.
yeah,
Violent,
it truly is. All right.
I got a full cycle in with no pain while lifting, and plan on getting another 8 weeks in before world team trials, and hopefully 6 weeks of intense wrestling training.
Will you be training for that locally, or will you be going around Lehigh, other places?
I'll be going to the Lehigh Regional Training Center, and
Okay.
me and Coach Jeff Buxton have
Yep.
a really good relationship, and he helps me out a lot, and he's a great guy, so he's my go-to freestyle guy.
Gotcha.
Helped me make my world teams before.
Got it. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, Jordan. Good
Yeah.
luck on the recovery. We'll be
Thank you.
watching you at the trials and looking forward to following your college career.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for taking the time.
No problem.